Hello everyone, I am Michelle with Design&Vine. Welcome. It is Wednesday, July 20th. It is 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. Central Standard Time, and we are going to craft. I am going to get my technology all set up here, and we are going to get started in just a moment. Hi Robin, how are you? Robin is on following me this evening with Robin's Buys and DIYs. Hi Henry. And we are gonna go ahead and get started, y'all. So I have pinned the link to the next crafter in the comments. Let me just...
Hey, Julie.
Hi, Julie. Bring up the schedule for this evening with Crafty Creators Community. We have the theme, Let's Get Around to Crafting, and we are using all things round. And first you have me, Michelle, with Design&Vine. Then you have Robin, this way. You have Robin with Robin's Buys and DIYs following me. Then Tammy with Crafty Peep. And then Kristy with Kristy's Crafty Cottage. So that is the lineup for this evening. That is in Central Standard Time, those times that you see there. And let's see. Yeah, I think that's all I need to cover up front. I'm going to be chalking with some Chalkator this evening. Hi, Bethwyn. How are you, sweet lady? We've been talking about spiders the past couple days. Or no, since yesterday, I think. That last thing you sent me about... that specific spider having a frog in its nest or whatever you call it, a teeny frog to eat the tiny bugs so that the bugs don't eat the spider's eggs. So the frog is really like a pet cat to the spider. That was so freaking funny. I thought that was so funny. Anyway, only in Australia, right? Right? You get those big giant hairy spiders. Ugh, I can't. Okay. All right. Let me go ahead and change up my screens here and do the down facing with me in the upper left hand corner. We're going to go ahead and get started. My rounds this evening are going to be this round hanging. I don't think it's not a front door sign. It's too small. I believe it's only, let's see, 5.5 in diameter, so it's not that big, but we're going to make it look real cute. And we have our beads up here that are also round. So I went ahead and took the liberty and magic of television to paint this white and to paint these white and distress them with Waverly wax. And I'm just going to set that aside for a minute. I also removed the twine, but I kept it because we're going to use it still. And I'm going to show you the transfers that we're going to be using. I'm going to put my glasses on here. Tarantulas. Oh my goodness. No. With a frog protector. Yes. So these are two A-size transfers that they're old. I've had them in my stash for quite some time. They're both A-size transfers. This one's called Welcome Trio. I think this one is still available. This one's called Autumn Skies, and I'm not sure about this one, but I'm sure you could still find both of them if they're not online. I am not a designer anymore, but I have a lot of stuff, so I am going to be using it to, not to get rid of it necessarily, just to use it when it's convenient. As before, I just don't sell it anymore. So Anyway, I already took this out of the package because I have to cut this down, but I wanted to show you it's a D-size transfer. It's a brand new transfer, and it is called 4 Farmhouse Patterns, and that is not focusing very well. My hand is, but then the transfer writing is not. 4 Farmhouse Patterns is what that is called. You can see all 4 of them here. I'm sorry for the blurriness. I'm not sure why that's not focusing well. But this section has words. I have it upside down. You don't want to see that upside down. So it has some farmhouse words on it. This is a wood grain pattern. This is a chicken wire pattern. And this is bricks. So we are going to be using the wood one. I'm going to go ahead and cut this section. Actually, I may just cut straight across and then separate all 4 of these so I can store them after. These particular scissors are meant just for transfers because you don't really want to use dull scissors while trying to cut these apart, and they're pretty sharp. So I'm going to use this wood grain one, and we're going to do a little fall sign, and then if we finish that up, I have an embroidery hoop, which is also round, that I'm going to put together for you real quick. I know, they're really cool. I just, I can't make money for personal reasons. I know that sounds weird, but yeah, the buffalo check one is really cool. So I'm just going to go ahead and put these aside, and I'm going to take this one. I'm going to pull over my fuzzing cloth. You can do this on a towel or on a t-shirt, whatever you have handy. The purpose of this is to just pick up fuzz to make it not so sticky, so that when you pull up the transfer, it doesn't pull the paint off of your surface. So we do this about 2 or 3 times depending on how sticky it is. And this one isn't too sticky, as you can see. And when you put it back on, you always want to make sure that you're putting it back on the shiny side, not the dull side of the paper. It will stick to the dull side. So I'm going to set that aside, and I have a little Dollar Tree plastic container thing with distilled water in it that I'm going to put.
When somebody get it ready for you, so just so that's already done.
I do. I have the basin right back there. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. The only problem is whenever I use the shimmer paste, you can't put them in the basin. That's a good word for that, by the way. So proper, darling. But you can't put them in there because what happens is some of the shimmer comes off and floats around to the back side of the transfer, and it gets on the sticky side of the transfer, and it's very hard to get it off. So I'll show you what I try to do whenever I use a shimmer paste. This particular one called Bark or Brown is not a shimmer paste. So this is the one we're going to use for the wood, and I've fuzzed it. So I'm going to put my fuzzing cloth aside. I'm going to put these 2 transfers aside. And I should have cut paper. I keep forgetting to do that, but that's okay.
Hey, Charlene.
Hi, Charlene. How are you? All right. So on this transfer, you can see it's more distressed on this side. It has a little bit of distressing over here, but I really want the bulk of that distressing. So I'm gonna place this in a way that I'm using this side of the transfer a little more, so that I can get that brown to show through. And I just want to kind of give this, where's my, I have to gauge where my little hole is there. I want to give this a distressed wood kind of shiplap look, and that's why I painted it white underneath, and then the part coming through is going to be the darker color. So I'm just making sure that this is down real well so I don't get any bleeding. And I already stirred this up. I stirred it earlier. Oh, that's right, Charlene. You haven't been feeling well. How are you, darling? I hope you're doing better. Okay. Wow, that looks like a melted Hershey bar. I don't know if you see that like I do, but it looks like a melted Hershey bar. Okay, so this color is still available if you were interested in getting this color. And I do know a few designers, so, well, more than a few, but I can recommend if you wanted to put something like this together. So I'm just grabbing some paste and squeegeeing it all around, spreading it all around the top of the transfer. The open spaces is where which is pretty much the bulk of this, so I'm just going to cover the whole thing. And then I'm grabbing the extra, pulling it down, because you really only need a little bit, little bit. I'm a lefty, so I have to have things going in the right direction all the time. Okay. So I'm pretty sure we have all the open spaces covered. I'm going to put this squeegee in my paintbrush water over there, and then I'm going to pull back the transfer, and there's the magic. We have a little, so now I'm going to take this over to the basin and just let that soak in the water. And that's what Bethlehem was talking about. Soaking the transfer so that the paste doesn't dry out in the screen section of it. So my little round thing is from Hobby Lobby in the wood pile section, and it was $2.99. And then I have a couple of them. But didn't that come out cute? That easy. I got a little wood grain look. All right, so we're done with the brown. I'm going to put the lid on so that we don't get any drying out of the paste. And again, that's the color bark. And I'm just going to make sure that this is dry, so forgive me for the noise for a moment. I dry this. And then we're going to take our other two transfers. We're only going to use parts of them. I'm going to use the word autumn, and I'm going to use the word hello. Hobby Lobby, yes. My husband's favorite place in the whole wide world. She said sarcastically. Oh, I did not change my little scroll. We can't have that. We can't have that. So I am going to change it real quick, if you don't mind. I knew I was forgetting something. It'll just take a second. Let's get around. Whoops. Around. No, Michelle, you can spell. Come on. Oh my goodness, apparently I can't. Around to crafting. I'm Michelle. Thank you for joining me. Blah, 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 blah. And up next is Robin. Why did no one tell me that wasn't right? Up next is Robin with, it has to say the right thing, y'all. Robin's buys. And
Robin says she's holding her own. It's the heat.
DIYs.
We hope you feel better, Robin.
Charlene, you mean?
I mean Charlene.
Yes, Charlene. It's the heat. You know, I wasn't feeling well earlier. Okay, we got that fixed now. So it should say the right thing. So Robin is next. I had the time wrong on Facebook too. I put that I was going live at 7. I'm just off today. I'm just off. These open in all different areas. The bigger ones open in the back on the bottom. The medium-sized ones open on the back at the top. The little ones sometimes open on the front. Both of these open on the front. So I should have put down below a couple of links to some designers, but I didn't do that. So I need these. Hello. Get your act together, girl. So the reason why I want to make sure that that's dry is I'm about to use 2 more transfers, right? So we want to make sure that we are not pulling up anything that we've already put down. So fuzzing didn't take up any white paint. So now I have Welcome and Gather to use in the future. And I can also use this. I don't know if you know anything about Chalk Couture transfers or not, but they're reusable. I am not going to cut this because this is intended to be all one. This was intended to be cut. So when I get ready to use this, I'm just going to position this where I want it and just very carefully chalk that word. As a matter of fact, let me get the tool that I need for that. So I'm going to, again, peel the backer off. And I am using shimmer paste on these, so you'll get to see how I clean that up in just a moment. Because I use the inside, as you can see, to clean. This is the fuzzing side. Now I'm hot. Before I was cold, so I don't know what's going on with me. I guess being behind this light can make you hot too, but I'm going to take a layer off, guys. Just one, I promise. Just one layer. Okay. All right. Just make sure this is dry. I mean, it's dry to the touch, but you know how things go when you're live. Hi, Tammy. How are you?
Hey, Tammy.
Okay, I'm going to turn this toward me. Let's see. How do I want this? Let me count the ways. So I think I want Autumn crooked the way it is. And it's going to... Okay, yeah. So I am going to put hello. I really don't want to cover that distressing, but it's going to... Maybe if I move it to the center, more centered, and then Autumn can be the off word. Because I love that distressing. So notice I'm not pressing down around the edges here. You don't want to do that because that's just more sticky. That's gonna, you're at risk of pulling up something that you don't want to. So I'm going to use, for hello, I'm going to use Shimmer Pumpkin. Okay. This is a color they came out with last year. Let me grab a stir stick. And even though it looks fine, we stir them up because they settle. So you want to make sure all the good juices are mixed together. I'm just going to take a wipe and wipe this off. And then throw it in the water so I can better clean it in a minute. All right, now... I did drop some right there, but it's okay. Grab a clean squeegee. I keep all my squeegees in this little drawer thing that I found at the five and dime store or thrift store, whatever you call them now. And we're just gonna, I know you can't see the shimmer until it's maybe on the surface. So I didn't even bother like trying to lift it and show you because you can't really see it that well. I'm just going to put the squeegee down over there and we're going to peel this up. I'm wiggling it because it's kind of a tight sticky on there and I don't want to peel up anything that's not supposed to be peeled up. So I'm going to cover this back up. We're not going to use this color again. Let me see if I can get that shimmer to show for you. Well, I'll be darned if that same piece didn't come back to haunt me, but it didn't stick. All right, I don't know if you can... Maybe on the front camera? Nope. It is not showing that shimmer. Those letters are kind of tiny though, so maybe with autumn. Now to clean this, I take a baby wipe and I'm just going to spray with my mister bottle here. And I'm going to try to wipe as much as I can of that shimmer off the top side. And I can already see it's down in the word hello, the letters. And then, wow, it's really stuck. Okay. Then I'm going to turn it around and spray it again. Let's see that. Now getting water.
You would say the paste is a little bit thicker than paint, right?
Absolutely, yes. It's between. It's definitely thicker than paint. It's thicker than chalk paint too. Even though it's called chalk paste, it's a little bit thicker than chalk paint. And you can water it down as well. So I got most of that shimmer off, but you can kind of see, maybe not, there you can kind of see there's still some around the edges there. So now that there's not a lot, I'm going to stick it in the water in the basin over here and just kind of let it soak. Oh, I was about to say a moment ago that spraying water on the backside does not take the sticky away. I don't know why, I don't know what they use, but whatever they use, it doesn't take the sticky away from that. So now I'm going to make sure this is dry. It is very, very fine though. That's why they call it shimmer. It's not really a glitter. It's so tiny. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, you kind of can a little bit. If this camera would focus a little better, you can kind of see the shimmer in there. Okay. I think we're good. So now I'm just going to take off the top part. Oh, no, I'm going to have to take off the whole thing and just fuzz it. I'm just picking up fuzz to make it not as sticky. And then we're going to use the word autumn right here. And it's okay that it's at a slant. I want it that way. And I think I'm going to use this little pumpkin down here as well. So actually, I am going to use this again for the pumpkin. And I have some green out as well. So I'm going to stir this. This looks like mustard. And you definitely cannot see the shimmer once it's stirred. It's really in there. Put that in my cup of water, and I'm going to take my detail tool, and I'm just going to, it has a squeegee on the end of it, and just so that I don't get that S, I'm going to be very careful and use this tool versus the squeegee, because I can get into smaller areas, as you can see. In between that S and that A, I really had to be careful. The rest I should be good. So I can just pull this along. A little careful over here by the ampersand. Take off the excess. It does sparkle like glitter, I should say. It's not just like a metallic look. It sparkles like glitter. It's just tiny, tiny, tiny. Very tiny. Hey, sis. That's my sister, y'all. Alright, so now I'm going to open this back up because this is a shimmer that we're using. And please don't take off my hello. Please, please. Yay, it's not taking it off so far. That's the importance of making sure that it's dry. Okay, I'm going to lay this down here. I'm going to spray it. Sorry, I have to keep shifting things so that you guys can see. I'm going to grab a baby wipe. I'm just going to wipe most of the shimmer off. I'm not sure how much you can see on this overhead camera, but this is, by the way, this is Shimmer Harvest. You can really see the shimmer on this one, especially on the transfer. So the idea of doing it this way before putting it in the basin of water is not getting too much of that shimmer on the back side of our transfer. So it'll come cleaner when I clean it later. So, oh, I needed to use the pumpkin on that. So I am going to dry the bottom side of that and use the pumpkin. I forgot about that. All right. And I'm going to need green. This one is called Shimmer Spruce. I have to make sure this is dry. And I have not stirred yet, so I'm going to stir the spruce. Break out the orange again and get my transfer back over here. And grab a squeegee. Actually, I'm going to use my detail tool for the pumpkin because he's kind of small. So I'm just going to wipe that off. I got to dry that. The hair getting in my face. Carol and I are both from Connecticut, but we have lived down south for so long that we're y'allers. We y'all everything. I've lived down in North Carolina longer than I ever lived in Connecticut, so I consider this more my home. But that is where I was born. Okay, dry. Dry first. So this is what we have so far. Hello, Autumn. You can kind of sort of see that shimmer. And I'm just going to put a little pumpkin over here off to one side. That's my sister, Bethlehem. Yes, please hit the thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't. It helps me with my channel.
I don't see no thumbs up on YouTube.
Oh, you have to minimize. If you're watching on a phone, you have to minimize the chat. And this is what we have so far. Hello, Autumn. And now we are going to place this little pumpkin, this little piggy, I actually kind of like it over here because autumn is going down more on that side, so I may put it right here. I could break out my brown again and use brown on the little squiggly thing. Yeah, I think I might just do that. I'm trying not to put it on autumn because then I don't have to worry about it. I am going to use 3 different colors here. I'm getting okay. That didn't want to come off too easy. Now I have brown on my fingers. I'm going to do the little corkscrew thing and the little stem in brown, and then the leaves in green, and the berries are going to be green too, simply because. Okay, so let's make the little corkscrew brown. And you can use paintbrushes if you want to. If you have some really tiny paintbrushes. Okay. Sorry for my sniffles. Yeah, I feel like I say that every single live. I'm just going to wipe that off as best I can while holding this. Then I'm going to go into my orange. I'm going to do just the pumpkin and the shimmer orange. Just the body of the pumpkin, I should say. I could even use my finger if I wanted to. Okay. Trying to clean that off. Now I'm going to go in. Oh, I didn't do all my brown when I was in the brown. I'm going to do my stem in brown. Clean that off again. And then one more color. Green. And I am going to just take and grab the excess off, but I'm not going to put it back in the jar because I'm kind of mixing colors just a tiny bit. That's okay. All right. That came out cute. I'll show you. Get rid of some of this. Put this down over here so I can clean it real quick. Get the spray working on that. I'll close these up. You really only use a tiny bit of this, so I know it seems like, wow, that's a small container. You must have to buy that, time and time and time again. If you only knew, the only time I buy paste is if it's black or white, because you use those the most. Or if they have a new color, which they just came out with glow in the dark, and I had to get some. There's our pumpkin. So we have Hello Autumn and our pumpkin, and now we're going to put this back together, and then we're going to move on to craft number 2, and I still have plenty of time. Paper towel. Paper towel or baby wipe works. I call them baby wipes, but they're Clorox wipes. I knew that was going to happen. I could feel it sticking to me. Okay. So this is just a tiny round. 5 1/4 inches. I got at Hobby Lobby. And I do believe we are done chalking, because the next craft does not involve chalking at all. So this was pretty simple if you have the supplies. trying to think how I want to do this, because the way they had it was kind of different. The way they had it was definitely different. They strung the beads and then they tied it back down through the top. You do it the easy way. This is a bead stringer. So I put my beads on, then I pull this through. I'm hoping this isn't too thick. Yep, it worked perfectly. Now our beads are on, and the way they did this was they tied it here like this. Like as low as they could get it, like so. And then they made a loop. I think they strung it again. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that. I wonder if I can. Let's try. Let's see what we can do. Hopefully I'm thinking of this correctly, because I want to go over like this and then pull it through. It's not going to work. It's too thick. Okay. Let me think about this for a second, because how they did it was they pulled this. Lord have mercy. How did they do it? See how they have it? Oh, they just have it tied at the top. So they just have it tied right here. So they made a loop. I was making that really difficult, y'all. They have a loop, and then they just tied it right here. I was making that way more difficult than it needed to be. Yes, I was. Okay. So I'm going to get this down as low as possible.
Hey, Liz.
Hi, Liz. How are you? And then we're going to cut the excess off. I'm going to make sure it's really tight. And then, so we have it just like they have it here, okay? Only mine is painted and done differently. Now, we have the option to add a bow. I can use one of these ribbons. This is a Dollar Tree ribbon, and this is a ribbon I probably got off of Waterman's Loft many years ago. Scott Waterman, he's a crafter. So this has leaves on it. This is just plain burlap. What's your vote, guys? Which one do you like better? The one with the gold and the leaves? I'm just doing a simple bow. And it's going to go right here. I'm going to tie, let's try this one. Let's see what this one looks like, since it's kind of sparkly. Is that too dark? Should I go with the lighter? This one kind of has the gold in it, brings out the autumn. I kind of like this one. I think I'm going to go with this one. That's how I hold my ribbons, by the way, is with a rubber band. All right, so I'm not going to do a really big bow. So this is what I do to hold my ribbons in place instead of using pins. I just use Dollar Tree ribbon, rubber bands, I mean. I'm going to go ahead and tie us a bow here. So I'm going to scrunch the middle up just so that it fits in this little nook.
Everybody likes the golden leaves.
Okay, good. And we are going to tie a bow. I am such a lefty. I feel like I have two left feet when it comes to doing stuff like this, or two left hands. So I'm literally tying. I actually don't need to do the center knot. I'm just going to start over here, make my 2 loops. Okay. The struggle is so real, guys.
Got to say 20 minutes.
Okay. Yes, this is what we want. I don't want this turned. I want this to go like this, and then I want one more tail on this side. The struggle is real. Very real. Okay. Okay, this first one is way too big. So I'm going to make it smaller. So that I have more room on this side. It's going to go that way once it's all said and done. Okay. And I'm going to trim it down. Take a piece of floral wire. Put it in the center and twist, twist, twist. To hold this together. And then I'm going to use the wire to put the bow on. And again, just twist. Oh, okay. I'll keep an eye on the comments. Better. So I'm just twisting that wire. This may be a little too big. I may have made this a little too big, and I wanted to show you what else I have in store. So I'm going to probably make a smaller one. I'll trim my wire down just so that you get the idea. I think that's a little too big for the bow, but I will definitely make a smaller one and post a picture on Crafty Creators Community. Now, our second craft is not going to take long at all. Okay, I'm going to leave all that there because I'm going to make a second one. So I have this fabric that I picked up, a fabric quarter in Joann's. And I have this 5-inch hoop from Michael's. I'm going to unscrew the hoop. I'm going to use the smaller hoop to cut a piece of fabric. And I think I only need one of these little squares here. So I'm breaking out the professional scissors, guys. These are fabric cutters right here. Oh my goodness. And they're supposed to make things not fray. But I think it's the nature of this fabric to fray, so I may get some fraying anyway. Ooh, nice. Thank you. Who?
Charlene.
Oh, Charlene. Oh, I thought you said Brian. Okay. It is pretty. And it reminds me of fall. Put that aside, and we're just going to lay this over the top. And we're going to press the top part of the hoop over that and screw that back tighter, like so. Not all the way tight yet, because you want to pull this as taut as you can. You can see I still have some room to pull this tighter, right? You can see that kind of laying down. Oh, does it really? Wow. It's just a cotton, just a little cotton. So that's pretty good. Now I'm gonna tighten this all the way. That's about as tight as I can get it. And I'm going to use my fabric trimmers again and go ahead and trim off the excess fabric. It's so easy, guys. Oh, an embroidery hoop, a square of fabric. And in just a second, I'll tell you how big this square is in case, I mean, if you have scrap fabric laying around, you can even put strips in this and tighten it up, and that would work. Okay, I'm struggling over here on this last piece. This down a little closer, as close as you can get it. It's not going to go anywhere. It's going to hold now that it's in there nice and tight. I still have the little tag that comes on here hanging from these. She's ridiculous. These dogs are all about the pets. My goodness. So this embroidery hoop was free. It has no price on it. It wasn't free. It was, let's see. I don't see a price, but they're not that expensive. I want to say maybe it was $1 something. Okay. 10 minutes. So we have Hello Autumn on the other one. So we don't want that, right? We don't want Hello Autumn. We don't want give thanks. We can say hello fall. We can say farm fresh. We can say welcome fall. That one's broken, but that's okay. Hello fall, blessed, because all we're gonna do is put a word on here, and it's that easy. It's that easy, guys. You can also, though, if you wanted to, I kind of like hello fall. That takes up a lot of that. That's cute. But we have hello already. So maybe just blessed. Aw. I know exactly what you're talking about too. Aw. I think I'm going to do blessed on this one. I like that. I almost like just the plain wood on here too because it matches. It goes with. Right? What do you guys think? Should I just leave it? And if you had just some plain beads and some twine, you could hang this as well. I think I am going to leave it all natural, because I don't really have enough time to paint the word and the beads, so I'm going to leave it all natural. And we're going to put 3 beads on this one. And just pull your twine up through the threader. I'm telling you, whoever thought of these nifty things. Okay. And we just do the same thing we did on the other one. We're going to run this through. Yeah, I like blessed too. I'm going to get that on there. So I'm just going to tie this on. There's my gorilla. Make some noise. I'm going to double knot it. Hey JJ, do me a favor. Can you go to the my bedroom, right inside the door there's some fabric glue up on top of that old dresser. If I'm not mistaken, unless I moved it. I might have moved it. Okay. So we want about the same hanging lengthwise. Yeah, I'm just gonna put this wood sign on with some fabric glue, fabric pack. Fabric Fusion by Aleen's. I'm just making a knot at the top of the bead. These are, I believe these are 20 millimeter beads, these littler ones that I'm using right here. Now we have this. Get a paper towel. I don't know if the top of this is cut or not. I see it. Good grief. Let's see. Maybe easier to do it this way. I plugged in my glue gun, but I'm just going to use a sponge for this because these are cheap and I can throw it away. Wow, this is sticky. Okay. I'm just going to brush this on the back. Yikes. Talk about your glue strings. My goodness. Let me get this straight. I was going to try it upside down, but we want to make sure it's straight. And there we have sign number 2. Sign number 1, that's getting a smaller bow that we chalked. And sign number 2, that's just fabric and a wood word. Oh, awesome. Thank you, Robin. Okay, so 6:55. I thank you all for joining me. Thank you. Thank you, Liz. I used 3 transfers on this one. I am going to make a smaller bow, okay? Same ribbon, just smaller. Like, it'll be maybe half the size, I think. Like that. So it's not so, like, it's not so overwhelming, you know? The tails will probably stay the same, but it'll just be smaller, a little bit, not so in your face. So this was a wood, I painted this white. This started off like this from Hobby Lobby. And I painted it white. I painted the beads on here white and distressed the beads with Waverly wax. And then I chalked the brown lines that you see. It's a new transfer called 4 Farmhouse Patterns from Chalkature. And then I used 2 A-size transfers, and I used the word hello from one, and then from the other transfer I used autumn and the pumpkin that you see there. And then I used the colors shimmer pumpkin, shimmer spruce, bark, and shimmer harvest for that sign. And then I used this Renaissance 2000 leaf ribbon to make the bow. And we put the same jute back on there and these 2 beads right there. And I'm going to make the bow smaller. And then for this, it's just a 5-inch hoop with 3 20mm beads that I got on Amazon with some jute string and the word blessed that is probably also from Hobby Lobby. I took... Nope, I lied. It is from Crafter Square, Dollar Tree. So the letters are from Crafter Square, Dollar Tree. The words, I mean. And I just put that on with Aleene's Fabric Fusion Quick Dry. So that is on there. That's not coming off, okay? And this is the back side. You could finish that off if you wanted to. But there's no need if you're going to be hanging it, and unless it's going to rotate, then you might want to do both sides. But thank you, Tammy. Thank you. So we did 2 crafts tonight. I am so proud of myself. Okay. So we are going to head on over to Robin's Buys and DIYs right here on YouTube with Crafty Creators Community. And then after Robin is Tammy with Crafty Peep. And then Kristy with Kristy's Crafty Cottage. So head on over to Robin's channel and watch her, and let's see what she has to make out of anything round is our theme this evening. Good night, everybody. God bless. Thank you for joining me. Don't forget to hit the like button on the way out. Thank you.